Hello friends, Crystal here, your Vibrant BF, and welcome to a new series for July. We are in retrograde season. So I decided to repurpose some material, some information, some tidbits, some nuggets, some truly life-changing practices during the retrograde. And I'm calling this series Regulation Through Retrograde. So what exactly is a retrograde? I want you to think of rewiring, focusing, realigning, remembering. It's a step back, it's a rewind, it's a moment to kind of refocus. So it's perfect that I'm repurposing and sharing this information again about how to regulate your nervous system, how to create resilience, how to understand where you came from, to understand where you are going. So if it's your first time here, welcome, welcome. Every time we come together, we like to create a moment in this space and this time to just ground our body. So I want you to sit back, roll your shoulders, and we're going to take a deep breath in for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and then we'll exhale for 6. So deep breath in, hold, and exhale. I like to close my eyes because it helps me to be more present in my body. If you feel safe to do that, go ahead and close your eyes and inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4, holds, and exhale, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So the first thing I really want to talk about is understanding your perceptions, your perceived programming, basically your belief system. So to understand where we're going, we have to know where we came from. We have to understand what we think about so that we can have an actual roadmap. So our beliefs, our perceptions, our indoctrinations, our social constructs, our epigenetic encoding, all of this is determining who we show up as people, what we do as humans, where we put our actions, our attentions, our energy. All that is determined on our perceptions, our beliefs, our thoughts. So we have to first understand, what do we believe? Because what we are believing to be true is what we're going to create in our reality. What we believe is our reality. Your perception is your reality. So understanding, okay, most of our programming is already fundamentally part of our psyche, our build, our mindset by the time we're 8 years old. I can almost guarantee you most of your beliefs, thought patterns are of low vibration, heavy, negative, limiting beliefs. Why? Not necessarily to say that your parents had ill will or your caregivers or whoever. It's just the way our bodies naturally are defaulted. We are defaulted to think more low vibrational, more fear-based, because our subconscious mind, which is what's actually running the program, wants to keep us safe. So it wants to keep us doing things that's just the way things are. That's just how we do things. Because of our conditioning from way back when we need to be safe so that we don't die. Unfortunately, it hasn't evolved with the time. So starting a new job may feel very outside of your scope and realm, like, oh my gosh, I may die. That's not the same as a saber-toothed lion after you, okay? But our body will make us think that it's very unsafe to do something new, unexpected. You're going outside of the cave. You're leaving the tribe. You can't, that's bad. It's when in fact, it's how we grow and learn and expand and truly live and understand our authentic selves. So when we can first understand, wait a minute, where are these beliefs coming from? Who told me? And do I still believe them? So how do we understand what our beliefs are if we don't know if we're living in the updated or upgraded or outdated programming? So like I said, most of our belief systems are outdated. Most of them are keeping us small, keeping us safe. Don't change jobs, don't move cities, don't go against the grain, don't do whatever it is to keep you safe. When in fact, a lot of it is like, oh, your parents are being safe and their parents are being safe and their parents are there. And now somebody has to decide, wait a minute, I don't think it's the end of the world if I move outside of my city. I think it may be actually really good for me. But it may feel very scary to the body because, again, it's programmed to be like, no, let's keep you safe. You know the roads here, you know the city, you know the friends, your family. You can't go somewhere you've never been before. Why? Who says? So you really have to get down to the nitty gritty, the root, and say, first of all, Is this fear, which is false evidence appearing real, or is this a threat? So they're used interchangeably, fear and threat, when in fact they're totally different. Fear, again, is false evidence appearing real. Threat is an actual danger. So if me moving out of my city, literally a danger, am I going to be murdered? I mean, you can be murdered in the city, but is it going to cause me to be attacked by a saber-toothed lion? Most likely not. Now, do I have fear or anxiety even of what may come and not knowing anybody? Sure, that's totally normal, but that's okay, because one, the feeling is fleeting, and two, you can feel the fear and you can do it anyway. So if it's something that you feel like intuitively, your body's like, I just really want to get out of the city. I want to try something new. I want to do a different job. I went to school for this, but I want to become a baker. Like, there really is no rules to this thing. You create the rules. We've been set up in these structures, these social constructs of this is how you live your life. This is the roadmap. And I think if most of us, as we grow up, we realize, actually all of this is a lie and it's all made up. And who made this up? And who is this actually serving? And does this actually feel good to my body? And there's also a difference between feeling safe, thinking we're happy, thinking things are well, or just being docile, just laying dormant, just being like, you know what, consistency is comfort. I'm not bad, but I'm not great. I'm just mediocre. Well, guess what? Life is meant to be more than mediocre, okay? Life is meant to be lived, experienced, tasted, because here's the thing. Nobody's making it out of here alive, so you might as well freaking enjoy it. So take the risk, do the things. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, write down what the worst can happen. And then what? Did you die? Most likely not. Most likely you don't die. So when we can feel the fear and do it anyway. So we have to ask ourselves, is this fear or danger? It's one of the ways to understand if you're an upgraded or outdated. And then we want to check in with our body. So to first do that, we need to understand, where do I feel the dense energy, the heaviness, the anxiety maybe in my body? Where do I feel it? Is it my throat? Is it my stomach? Is it my back? Is it my head? Where is it? But we have to understand, is this from my outdated body or is this my upgraded? So there will be a physical response in our physiological bodies when we choose to live outside of the bubble, when we choose to break outside of our paradigms, when we choose to really focus and understand our belief systems. There will be some like, I'm not sure, and that is okay. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you do want to trust that little small voice that's like, ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to move to New York. Like, I know, crazy, I'm from this little small town and wherever. Or maybe ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to move to this little small town because I grew up in New York. And whatever it may be, we have to check in and say, where is this at in my body? And trust that intuition and know that we can feel the fear. The fear is fleeting and we can still move. And then we really want to check in and say, if I was to do X, Y, and Z, do I feel excitement about it? Is there just this little inkling of excitement? Then lean into that one. Or is it just like, no, I just better stick with this job. I know I'm not really happy there. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, I don't love it, but it's not terrible. Again, why live in mediocrity? Why look good when you can look gorgeous? Why stick with the mediocre when you can have a full, expansive life and you won't know until you trust and move out of your way, move out of the paradigms, move out of the box, move out of the make-believe rules, because you can decide how you want to live. Think about if you're watching your life on the big screen, okay? It's your life. You're the director. You wrote the script. You're the main character. How sad is it the main character did nothing? She lived a very blah life. Like, that's sad. Let her do something exciting. Let her take that trip. Let her travel. Let her whatever. Have this beautiful buildup of character. Like, live your life. Nobody's making it out of here alive. So what's the worst that could happen? You were going to die anyway. I'm just saying. All right. So we want to talk about checking in to see what our programs and beliefs are, because that is going to help us understand what it is we even think is available to us, which moves us on to whether you can or you can't. You're right. It's a beautiful quote. I love it. Your perception is your reality. So if you believe that you will never find another job, then you're right. If you believe that jobs are all over and you can move and live anywhere and get a job, you're right. If you believe that life has to be really hard and you have to pay your dues and you have to do, then you're right. If you believe that unexpected fortune can fall upon anybody and that why not you and favor isn't fair, why? You're right. So when we understand the power of our beliefs and understand like these beliefs that I was thinking my life was capable of doing or having or seeing or doing versus what is actually capable of me having, seeing, and doing, then so be it. We can start to set ourselves in a more expanded way of thought, a more expanded way of thinking, a more expanded, expansive life, abundant life. This is what we ideally are hoping for, living for, choosing, is to really get outside of our way, our own thoughts, our own programming that are of lower negative vibrations, which I hate to tell it to you, are our default programming. We are defaulted to think, no, 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 too dangerous, you'll die. No, 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 we're not sure, just stay where you are. No, 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 something bad's going to happen. That's our natural default. So we really have to work on, you know what, it's okay to try something new, unknown. I'm not sure how it's all going to work out, but I'm going to trust and believe. And I'm going to also believe that it's going to work out. And I'm going to imagine, and I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to daydream about, and I'm going to use my imagination to think about how this is going to work out. Because when we engage our senses and we use our emotions for, I don't know, positive things versus saying, oh my God, what if I lose all of my savings? I can't find a job. I'm homeless. I'm on the street and I'm a crackhead. Versus saying, oh my God, what if I go out there and I happen to go to this event and I meet this person and then they sign me and I create this book and I'm like, how about that? How about using your imagination for something good? How about ruminating on positive? How about thinking that what if it all works out better than I can even imagine? And that's part of learning how to regulate your nervous system, is really shifting your perspective, shifting your paradigm and saying, what if this is just the beginning of my story? What if I think is the greatest is just the bottom of what I'm capable of having? What if, right? So when we put ourselves in different spaces and places, it helps to expand us. It helps to move us out of what we think is possible to what actually is possible, which anything is possible as long as you put your mind to it. Can you even hear me? I meant to have been holding this the whole time. Can you hear me? Dang it. Should I record this again? No, I'm not. I think you could have heard me pretty well, so we're going to keep it rolling. We also have to understand that any given part of the day, we are taking in about 2.3 million bits of information. That's through our senses, what we hear, what we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch. All this is coming through our body. We're only able to process and actually register about 126 of that because we're human. So how do we determine what we actually want to filter into our bodies? This goes back to our programming as well. It's all determined on what you say is important. So if we tell our bodies, you know what, I'm believing that I'm going to work on Broadway, okay? I don't know how and when and where, but this is something I really desire. And so I'm going to focus on writing scripts, or if you're a dancer or choreographer or whatever it is, I'm going to start working on my craft. I'm going to start going to the shows. I'm going to put myself in theater communities. I'm going to start putting myself out there. And what's going to happen is your brain's going to say, oh, wow, she's giving a lot of energy and focus to these things. So let's create more opportunities for that. Our subconscious will never, I repeat, never make a liar out of us. Whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. If you say that this is possible, your subconscious says, you heard her, guys, it's possible, or it's not possible. They will give you confirmation of whatever it is you believe to be true. So if you're putting yourself out there, you're going to start getting on your phone and seeing theater projects that are going on. You're going to walk down the street and see flyers that you probably wouldn't otherwise see, because it's going to start filtering in the things that you desire, that you are wanting, that you are thinking about. That's how it works. So the more you think about something, think about it on a positive way. Think about what is working. Think about, oh my gosh, I always get the best parking spot. Guess what? Oh my God, I always get free stuff. Every time I go somewhere, I always get free stuff. Oh my God, I always get chosen. Oh my gosh, I'm always the winner. Oh my gosh, you see how this is? When you start believing and holding and imagining yourself and living in this frequency, it's going to bring things of similar vibration. That's just the way the universe talks. It's not how much you can toil and work, try to make it through and go the upheaval and just, oh, I've got to, just lay myself out and become a martyr. No. You can be like, you know what? I am so highly flavored. I am so highly favored. Favor isn't fair. Like every time I go out, I always get recognized. I always get the VIP. Whatever it is. And when you start living and expecting from that space, law of assumption, living as if it's already done, then that is what the universe, that is what your body, that is what your brain, your mind, everything is going to conspire to get for you, because it's like, oh, well, she said this is how it is, therefore that's what it is. Whether you can or you can't, you're right. So I really just want to take this moment to say, as we are navigating through retrograde, I really want you to realize the power that you have, the energy that's in you. Everything is energy, everything is vibrating, everything's a frequency. Your emotions are energy in motion. So where you are putting your emotion, your focus, your looking, your thinking, your imaginations, your daydreaming, your all of that is going to further fuel whatever it is you're thinking. If you think about how wrong everybody does you and how everybody treats you so bad and how everybody's just so fake and this, guess what? You're going to bring more of those experiences. But if you start saying, I am so happy that I'm so loved, I'm so cared for, I'm so cherished, I am infinitely supported, everything always works out, then guess what? That is what you get. Whether you can or you can't, you're right. So as we are in week 1 of regulation through retrograde, I want you to remember that you have the power to pivot, that you need to check in with your belief systems and say, anything is available to me. I'm going to tell you a secret. If you have a desire for something, it's because a version of you already has it. Because there's all these versions of you on all these different timelines. And if you are like, man, I've always wanted to move out of this country, this city. I've always wanted to be a baker, a dancer, a sculptor. I've always wanted to learn 9 languages. I've always wanted to write a book. Whatever it is, there's a version of you that has it. And it's available to you. Not everybody has the same different dreams. Not everybody has the same dreams. So if you allow yourself to say, what if this works out even better? What if I take a chance on myself? What if I focus on everything working out, getting everything I want, always being in the right place at the right time, always meeting the coolest people? What if I put all my energy into that, and let's see how the next 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, year goes? What if we lock in and start focusing on all the things that are working? We just got out of June Joy, which is all about gratitude and holding that vibration. A lot of you are already seeing some changes. We are continuing that while we're navigating through retrograde, because more often than not, people from our past start to come up. So it's not just people. We want to think about thoughts of our past. How have we been thinking? How have we been doing things? Well, it's time to rewire those that aren't helpful. We want alignment. We want harmony. We want peace. We want ease. We want our abundance, which is our birthright. We don't want to take in all these indoctrinations and social constructs and narratives that says we have to play small and live little and it's too much and you're too much and you can't do that. And who said? So as you continually navigate through retrograde, I want you to think about your beliefs, your perceptions. What are you believing to be true? Where are you putting your energy? Because where you focus your energy, that's what grows. So focus on everything working out better than you can even imagine. And I will see you next week for more tips on regulation through retrograde. Until next time, friends. Bye-bye.